This week is going to be interesting for the week of video games because it is a bit of a do or die situation for one of our favorite leakers. Allegedly, there's a Nintendo Direct happening this week, a general Nintendo Direct. Allegedly, there's going to be a new 3D Mario game at this general Nintendo Direct as well. And like I've said before, I will personally apologize to Nash Weedle if this is correct information, both in video and on Twitter format. I am a man of my word. I stick to what I say. But in saying that, I don't think there's a Nintendo Direct this week. Timing line, it doesn't make sense, and I get it. People are going to say, well, RGT, there's release dates for games that we need to know about. What about Yoshi? What about Fire Emblem? It's a 2D Yoshi game. You kind of got the gist of it from the initial unveiling of it. I think that's a game you put out a little 5-minute trailer for and put the release date at the end of the trailer to let people know because, I mean, that's just as effective. Fire Emblem, same sort of thing. It's Fire Emblem. Are we really reinventing the wheel with this game, or is it a strategy RPG game like Fire Emblem has been for many, many decades now? Now, I guess you would do the same sort of thing. Do a 7-minute deep dive of it, and then have the release date at the end of the trailer, and then everyone knows that information. I guess people are kind of worried that Fire Emblem is going to go woke or something like that now that gosh darn Devin Pritchard is ahead of Nintendo of America. She's been running the company into the ground, even though the president of Nintendo of America doesn't really actually do anything. She's been with the company longer than Doug Bowser and Reggie Fils-Aimé were combined for their whole tenure as president of Nintendo of America, and she's not really calling shots. That's more so from Nintendo of Japan, but hey, it's the internet, and nobody knows how things work. They just want to make a villain for it. But in saying all that, there actually is something that's happening this week. Like, confirmed. And this is bigger to me than any sort of general Nintendo Direct with a 3D Mario, because that is just speculation. That is just guesswork. The thing we're talking about in this video, though, is actually happening. It's an inevitability. And how Nintendo will react to this inevitability is where things get very interesting to me. Because on this upcoming Saturday, February 21st, there is a celebration to be had. A 40th anniversary celebration, if you will, for a certain franchise that is arguably just as big as Mario is nowadays for Nintendo. And that, of course, is The Legend of Zelda. The Legend of Zelda is turning 40 years old this Saturday. It is the official date of the 40th anniversary celebration. And many people are wondering, what's Nintendo going to do? They do Mario celebrations. They've kind of done Zelda celebrations before in the past. We're coming off of the 40th anniversary of Mario celebration where we got a tennis game and a Yoshi game, a new movie. If you're into the movies, you know, that's kind of cool. But for me, it was kind of a bit of a disappointment when it comes to the announcements that we saw with Mario. But with Zelda, I guess you could do something similar. People are starting to speculate about what's going to happen. I want to talk about possibilities, and I want to talk about, of course, things that maybe probably aren't going to happen, but could happen later on in the year. Somebody is actually texting me right now, and my phone is vibrating out of control. Thank you for repeatedly texting me while I'm filming a video. So here's what I think we're going to get when it comes to Zelda's 40th anniversary celebration. Will there be a bunch of pomp and circumstance? Will there be a red carpet rolled out, a big presentation, huge announcements, new things showcased? I mean, probably not. Probably not. Because this is Nintendo that we're talking about at the end of the day. Nintendo likes to do things on their own time. Now, that's not to say that something can't happen. That's not to say that something won't eventually happen. But when it comes to the actual celebration that takes place on this Saturday, I think realistically speaking, we should expect a couple of things. First and foremost, I am not expecting a presentation. I'm not expecting a lot of pomp and circumstance. What I am expecting, though, are discounts. Get out your wallet, kiddies and weirdos, because if you don't have the Zelda games, well, now's going to be the time to buy them. You could probably get Echoes of Wisdom, Skyward Sword HD, Link's Awakening. I could see those being available on the Nintendo Switch and Switch 2 eShop for the low price of $41.99. We can't dip below that. What are you, crazy? We've only sold millions of copies of this game. We have to keep our budgets high with these games, even though you've clearly made your money back on these. I think there'll be some stuff for Nintendo Switch Online subscribers as well. They do lots of like little icons and doohickeys here and there. Like, sure, you could throw some of those on there, some exclusive timed ones where you have to turn your platinum points into different sorts of icons and stuff like that. That kind of makes sense. That's sort of something that I could see happening within the realm of possibility. But everything else that's kind of tied into this, I mean, that's where things kind of fall off the rails for me. Now, if you were doing a general Nintendo Direct presentation, you could do a 15-minute segment on The Legend of Zelda and the 40th anniversary and what you're doing for it. Many people expect games like Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD to finally make the jump to the Nintendo Switch and Switch 2 family of systems, which, I mean, it makes sense. There are already HD versions of these games. They were on the Wii U. All you got to do is bring them over to the Switch and Switch 2, and everyone would be happy. People would repay for it again. Like, let's be realistic here. Hell, I would repay for it without any sort of doubt. They only charge $50 for those games. You could charge them for $60 with the Switch 1 version, and then, I don't know, hopefully you just charge $60 across the board, but it's Nintendo variable pricing. So for me, it's kind of something that I could see happening eventually. If there was some sort of presentation, sure, that's something that could be there. But kind of beyond that, the next Zelda game announcement, a 80K Ocarina of Time upscaled remake built from the ground up with Unreal Engine 6, because Nintendo got access to a brand new Unreal Engine that's not even available on the marketplace. All these other developers are using Unreal Engine 5. No sir, no ma'am, no they them. Nintendo has access to Unreal Engine 6, and they're using it exclusively for The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 120K edition that has 700 frames per second. Like, no. You see, here's the problem with all of this. Here's the problem with all of these different things. With expecting a general Nintendo Direct this week, with expecting there to be a lot of Zelda stuff, a lot of Zelda hype and hoopla, even though based on the calendar, this is when it should be happening. We're still celebrating the 40th anniversary of Mario. The 40th anniversary of Mario ends, I believe, in my heart of hearts, when the movie comes out. That's kind of the crown jewel for this whole thing. All of the games that have been announced, all of the games that have been tied into the celebration of Mario, either have been released or are still yet to come with games like Yoshi. So if that is indeed the case, we don't even have the Super Mario Brothers Wonder DLC yet, which I'm not playing. I'm not buying that. I don't know. I know people are excited for it. I really hate the Wonder Flower. I wish whoever is like watering the Wonder Flower would stop and he would wilt away. Shut up. You're kind of annoying to me. But we are still in the midst of the Mario celebration. If you really thought there was going to be a 3D Mario announcement, they could have done it during the last celebration. When they did the Mario 40th anniversary Direct thing that they did back in September, where they took 15 minutes of the Direct and did strictly Mario stuff. Even if the game is not until a holiday 2026 release, you still could have done that. But you chose not to. And now, when you think about The Legend of Zelda and its 40th anniversary, are you going to start this anniversary while you're still in the midst of celebrating another anniversary? The Wonder DLC comes out right alongside of the movie, pretty much. End of March for that with the DLC, the beginning of April for the movie. But no, we're going to announce a 3D Mario to completely distract people. And then we're not going to do that, but we're going to have a big 40th anniversary celebration for The Legend of Zelda. And there's going to be pomp and circumstance and new games announced. I just don't see it happening. Maybe at the next General Nintendo Direct, there will be a segment that has a light shown upon The Legend of Zelda. But I think at best this week, you're going to see some discounts on select Legend of Zelda games. Don't expect there to be Breath of the Wild. Don't expect there to be Tears of the Kingdom, pal. Those games are still selling. We still need to make money on these games. 22 million, 30 plus million sold. No. We need more at the full retail price. And if you don't like it, you can go to hell. But I mean, it's selling. So who's to say anything? Maybe you get some Legos or some toys or some clothing drops with some obscure Japanese clothing brand that nobody's ever heard of before, and it's like $70 for a t-shirt. I don't understand who's paying $70 for like a t-shirt. Why would anyone... I know what you're saying. Oh, well, you buy basketball jerseys. Those are more expensive. That's a specific thing. That is a specific thing for a specific player. It's not a t-shirt. I don't know. I guess it is kind of the same thing. Go to hell. Anyways, guys, all I'm saying is keep your expectations in check with this. Don't expect a Nintendo Direct. Don't expect a 3D Mario. Don't expect a lot of pomp and circumstance for the celebration of The Legend of Zelda's 40th anniversary, which starts on February 21st, which is this upcoming Saturday. Because I don't want you to be disappointed. I want you to be a happy viewer. I want you to enjoy life and enjoy things and keep things within the realms of possibility. And if I'm wrong about this, like I said, I will be making a formal apology. I just don't feel like I am indeed wrong. And that video, when that Nintendo Direct does not happen, is going to be absolutely legendary. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and give me your thoughts in the comments section down below. Did you even know that this Friday was or Saturday, I should say, was the celebration of The Legend of Zelda's 40th anniversary? Because Nintendo sure as hell hasn't said anything about it. Why do you think that is? Because you're still in the midst of celebrating the fat plumber and his brother. Even though we should be celebrating Waluigi more, because Waluigi is based. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. Like I said, if you are indeed new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're sure to like, comment, and share. I hope you had a nice Valentine's Day. I'm actually filming this on Valentine's Day, so I don't know how mine is going to go. Will my on again, off again randomly show up at my house today for Valentine's Day like she did on Tuesday? No call, no text. I'm taking out some trash. I see her car pull in, and I'm like, I know that ain't who I think it is. I sit down on the couch, and 2 minutes later, there's a knock on my door. I haven't talked to you in like 2 weeks. Bro. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.